Bears fans YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Bears Fans Talk. I'm your host as always, Johnny CMD, here as always with the main event, Kevin Haggerty. If you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out the podcast. We're up to 106 on the year.
Let's go.
Slow, steady progress. It's the name of the game.
Nice.
Kevin, I want to open up this week just with the reflection that I feel like a loser.
Yeah.
And you should feel like a loser too.
Yeah. Why?
The Bears dropped 8th game in a row.
Yeah. This triangle, for those new here as well, we had a tradition that we started in the preseason. We would ring the bell for every win that we would get, and they would be cumulative. So in the preseason, we actually got to ring the bell 4 times.
Yeah.
4 weeks in a row.
And then we rang it 4 times about 9 weeks ago now. So we're on an 8-game losing streak plus the bye week.
Plus the bye, so 10.
So, yeah.
My son is still defeated since he has not witnessed the Bears
Newborn
victory.
Bo has not seen a Bears victory. So is he 0-7?
Yeah.
He missed the Hail Mary game.
He missed the Hail Mary game. He's 0-7.
So, but Kevin, that's not why I don't feel like losers. The Bears have had long-standing, losing streaks. This isn't even the longest losing streak they've had since we started the podcast. But
That's true.
there is this sentiment that we were just so fooled. We've been doing this podcast very consistently for the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
We opened up this season a lot of optimism. We knew this wasn't a complete team. We knew Super Bowl aspirations were not realistic.
Officially lost my Super Bowl bet this week, by the way.
Oh yeah, because it got bounced.
It got bounced, from the playoffs. Officially dead.
Yeah. So you predicted 11 or 12 wins.
I got it up here.
We went game for game. I predicted 10 or 12 or 10 or 11.
I got 12 wins and you got 11 wins.
Yeah. So, and we're sitting here. We might not win 5. And you know what? It's just like we had the sense of optimism. We had the sense of like things are different this time around. We're building on something. We're better than we were last year. We're gonna have a better season. But we were just wrong. So I just feel dumb. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, just
no,
like how you just feel like personally you feel like an idiot for the childlike belief that you had in this team. And the unwavering support of Ryan Poles, who we're going to talk about a little bit more later in this podcast.
Yeah, which is to break it down. Like, I thought, we didn't do a podcast last week, and I think we saw each other at daycare drop off, and we kind of like agreed that like we were pretty down about it, and like the Bears just in general. And like Caleb came out before the game this week or last week against Detroit. He came out and he's like, I had to talk to people about what it's like to lose. Yeah. And like have a losing streak like this at no level of football, probably in any sport this guy's ever played his entire life. He's never probably experienced a losing streak like this.
No.
And the reason I'm saying that though is because like when Caleb came here, we had so much hype, so much excitement, and it feels like the best part of the Bears season was preseason. Yeah. And it was so much optimism, and we were so excited, and it felt like, and it's like, and I can feel this cycle coming already. We're in the down, we're in the dumps right now. They're going to make some moves. We're going to get all excited again. And I just don't want this to be a repeating cycle for us, though, which is what I'm fearful of. Here's what
I'll say. I am not going to be excited again until we have a team that has proven that they can win. Because here's the thing. We, over the offseason, I think we knew the offensive line was going to be somewhat of a problem, but it wasn't terrible last year. It didn't feel like it was terrible last year. But we added pieces. We thought that Shane Waldron was going to be, in some way, shape, or form, an upgrade from Luke Getsy. Yeah. At least Luke Getsy made it 2 seasons. Yeah. And now we're dealing with the one situation we didn't want with Eberflus. Yep. And yeah, I mean, we're sitting here with Caleb Williams. The only thing that's worth watching at this point, if it weren't for the fact that we have Caleb Williams and just like seeing how things go, I can't imagine why I'd even still be watching these games.
Part of the problem is though when you're watching Caleb, he's missing some throws that he shouldn't be. Like that was part of like the frustration. Some of the but he's also out there, and like some of the sacks he's taking are like not even his fault. Yeah. I feel like they got to completely change the play call around. And like what made Tyson Bagent so successful when he started those 4 games last year, like it was literally like 2 steps and out. Get the ball out, yeah. Like 2 steps and out.
First read, second read.
Like not even, I felt like maybe not even 2 reads. It was like 1 read check down. Yeah. Like, and like there can't be these 7-step drops anymore. Yeah. And like the offensive line and the left tackle that played.
Amagaji, the rookie, unfortunately just looked really, really bad.
Well, not only that, like, dude, you're a 3rd round pick.
Yeah. The Vikings are a good defense, and they run a good team, and they run a complicated scheme. That being said, we played the Vikings way more competitively
the first time around.
Like, was it 4 weeks ago? It was not that long ago.
It was I think
it was less than 4 weeks.
We played them week 12. So yeah, 3 weeks ago. First, I just want to mention a couple things. Number one, I posted the bet that I made. The bet I made for the Monday Night Football game was I took Vikings minus 13.5 and under.
Killed that.
Under 50 points.
Killed that.
I would have.
That's a tough. That's a for them to make that many points and still be under however many points. Yeah.
I was specifically betting exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Bears offense going nowhere and the defense giving up points, which is exactly what happened. And I would have slid it farther if I could. The 13.5. I was like, I want to make it 20. And like, it's pessimism, but it's also realism right now. And like, that's the state of the Bears. And like, I'm pretty upset. Okay. Second thing I want to mention too is the hat that I got.
It's a nice hat. It's a little busy. It's a lot of decals and stuff, but I like it.
I love this here, right? So I got this actually from Andy.
I like the
N.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NFC North. Yeah. Oh, not NFC North.
So you got it from
NFC.
who? Sorry.
Andy gave it to me for a birthday present,
Nice.
and I was like, dude, that's super awesome. This would have been so much cool if the Bears were better.
It's still a nice hat.
It is a nice hat, and like it's really nicely made and stuff. It is a little here, but I love it, and it's super cool. But it's just, I just feel like I don't want to contribute anything more to the Bears franchise. Like I want to protest them, and the problem is, John.
Well, I'd said last year if I go to games, I'm gonna start stealing stuff off the walls if they're not putting a good product out there.
The problem, I feel like we got to, like, us as Chicago have to protest the McCaskies and protest everything about the team and just not show up.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, we have to prove that, like, they're bad. This is unacceptable.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking like a team that just, like, we're right back to where we started. We don't look like we've built on anything. One of the things, that we're kind of talking about, first of all, Troy Aikman, who I've never been a guy who really cares much about the announcers. I've never been someone who's been bothered by Joe Buck or Tony Romo. Troy Aikman, I think, has become one of my favorite announcers. And he just had like a very fair take on Caleb Williams. Like, yeah, he's looked great at times, he's looked bad at other times. They kind of highlighted like he's missed these throws. He missed some against the Vikings.
He did.
He's been up, he's been down. One thing that they're talking about right now is whether or not they should shut him down for the season. That's one of the things when we passed at the kid drop off today that you were advocating for. So what's your take on this?
Okay, so
should Caleb Williams just sit it out for the rest of the year?
Okay, so it's not like should they or should they not. It's a very fair point right now. And Shane Tucker, I brought it up in our Snapchat group too, and our buddy Shane was like, absolutely not. I want him hungry for next year. So like that's like one perspective. But the other perspective is, who did take the most sacks? What record he'll break for taking the most sacks?
Who took the most sacks?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Okay.
Derek Carr was
when?
Was
that?
2000 was the expansion team, so 2003?
Okay.
Literally ruined his career.
David Carr.
Sorry. The older brother, David Carr. Yeah. Ruined his career. And like you don't want to see that. Now here's the other thing that I feel like part of the reason Troy Aikman was so complimentary of Caleb, I believe, Troy Aikman had an awful rookie year.
I didn't realize that until he said it on the broadcast. He was 0-11 as a starter to start his rookie year.
Peyton Manning had an awful
Peyton Manning
year.
threw 30-something picks. Like, yeah.
Like, just because...
Crazy amount of picks.
Exactly. We are just so... Like, I feel like C.J. Stroud kind of broke the mold. Not broke the mold, but he like had so much success early on. Like we expect this success. So if any key takeaway I can take from it is like a lot of Hall of Fame court, and C.J. Stroud's having a very sophomore slump this year.
Yeah.
And maybe people are figuring him out. Maybe he can't read defenses. I don't know. I'm not here to talk about that. But if anything I can take away from it is like play Caleb, get him the reps, get him everything. Like my same thing is like play him in the preseason. Like it doesn't matter if he gets hurt in the preseason. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Like get him the reps at this level.
So you're saying just continue to. So here's what I will say.
That's my nervous thing though is you're gonna break him.
So here's what I'm gonna say.
Mentally.
I'm going to take the opposite perspective, and I think that we should shut him down. And the thing is, like you mentioned, being hungry for next year. I think this will make him hungry for next year.
What, shutting him down?
Hold the clipboard, watch the game. Develop Tyson Bagent. If you decide Tyson Bagent is going to be your long term like backup.
Yeah.
That being said, Tyson Bagent does pretty well, then maybe you might find himself a job elsewhere. But the offense is just not, I mean we have a broken offensive line. We don't have an offensive identity. I don't think that there's like good practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And right now Caleb is back to him seeing ghosts, holding on to the ball for too long. truth be said, told, other than for morale, winning these games is not going to do anything for the Bears. I mean, at this point, we're tank for whoever at this point. Like, I think you bench him because I think that we do run the risk of breaking him.
Mentally or physically?
Both. I mean, I think Caleb has kind of proven that he's a guy that, what I haven't seen is Caleb show his frustrations on the field. He's not pointing fingers at guys, at least not outwardly. So I think he can handle it. I think Caleb can take all the smoke. I don't think he's going to be like sad because he ended his rookie season on an 11-game losing streak, which is what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
There might be something to be said. Be like, hey, keep him out there. Let him get that one. Can he beat the Seahawks? Just like something to build on going forward. Can he beat the Packers? Can he beat the Packers? Something to build on going forward. That being said, if we had a healthy offensive line and some optimism on the offense or anywhere on the team, I would say go for it. Let him continue to get his reps. But right now, I just think these are bad reps to be giving him. I think we've got to bench Caleb Williams.
So here's the thing though about holding the clipboard. I would be pro holding the clipboard. We'll call that the Green Bay methodology. Yeah. There. That's the Green Bay system. Hold the clipboard. But he had to start from the beginning of the season holding the clipboard. You can't bench him halfway through the season.
We're not benching him. We're shutting him down. I think that's different.
But I also think that's like new age, like participation trophy thinking. Like if this were the 90s, for sure, if it were the 80s, what do you mean we're shutting him down?
But he's also just too valuable to a franchise. From a physical standpoint, breaking him. Like, what if he were to tear his ACL in these meaningless games?
He's not going to tear his ACL.
And I'm not saying that you should like make decisions based on because you can get injured walking.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But that being said, there's just nothing to gain here. There's too much to lose, and I don't think that he's going to grow from this. I think these last 3 games, I don't think there's any opportunity for growth.
Maybe not, but like if you were gonna do the Green Bay method, he had to sit from the beginning of the year. You shut him down now. He's got to play the full 19-week season. He's got to do or 18-week season. He's got to do the whole thing. He's got to do it. I think he really, truly, and deeply does.
I think that they're probably going to continue to have him play because if you ask him, he's probably going to say they're going to play. And if you ask Thomas Brown, it's just like, fucking, what do I have to gain from benching this? The one chance I have is to put our best team out there and show. He's not going to be thinking about the Bears' long-term future. He's probably lost his job because Eberflus got fired.
Second thing too that I'm going to mention as well, if they don't roll out Caleb. What is the point to even watching the games anymore?
You know what? I love Tyson Bagent.
We're big Tyson Bagent.
I would have some renewed vigor, getting a chance to see what Tyson Bagent's all about. Get a couple shots of his dad arm wrestling people in the stands, probably crushing a can of beer over his head.
Let me just. I want to pose another situation to you. I just want to throw it out there. Mm-hmm. Do you think we continue this skid if we fire Eberflus?
I think Eberflus probably, on a week-to-week basis, put us in a better position to win games than Thomas Brown does at this point.
And then here's my follow-up question as well as that. So, fine, puts us in a better position to win.
I think he still needs to be fired.
Do you think these are not as egregious? Like, these games are completely out of hand on so many levels.
CC.
Where's she on the net?
Come on, Cease.
Her bag.
Come on. Treat. Do I think these games are egregious in terms of what?
Just like I would expect even if here's my response. If Eberflus stayed and he didn't get fired, we're still losing these games.
Yeah.
But they are going to be a lot closer. Like at least Eberflus was making these games competitive.
Yeah. I think what we were hoping for is there to be like some reinvigoration. Like the locker room, did they really want him gone? That there'd be some rallying. I think everyone just kind of said this is a lost season. Dude. And I don't think that there is any like passion or vigor left in the building.
It's so hard, like as a Bears, like I don't know what the spread is for Sunday, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's double double digits.
Oh, for sure.
You think it's double digits?
I bet it's Lions minus 10.5.
10.5?
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
You think I could move the spread? You think I should move it to 17.5?
No, I don't.
I don't know,
Because, the Bears, I don't think...
You know I'm on this heater right now.
It's at home, right?
Yeah, it's at home.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd move it worse than that. I think 10.5 sounds right.
Let's see what it is. Let me see what it's at. It is for the Bears game. Is it a 3? It's a noon game. Wow, it's 6.5.
Really?
I'm gonna fucking
you hammer that for sure. So I mean that's Caleb Williams.
Here's the other thing. Before we move on to this thing, because that's an interesting thing too. Let's talk about the red zone opportunity that they had to almost make it a game.
Yeah, I mean it could have been. It was looking like it was going to be an interesting game. The Bears hung around in for a minute.
Agreed. And so I want to talk about the preparation and what's going on. Like, is that on Thomas Brown? Because like I remember our last podcast,
We'd be saying it's on Eberflus if Kramer didn't check in. We'd be like, because Aikman said like got the idea. Like Aikman said on the broadcast, like I just don't think that anyone told him that he was supposed to check in.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I bet you the same thing would have happened if Eberflus was coaching that team. What I'm telling you, John, is I just think that this team is they're just undisciplined.
Yeah.
They are just like the culture is bad from top to bottom. Yeah. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. So what we're seeing,
it's embarrassing.
And I think what we're seeing, here's what it is. We all really liked the move of Ryan Poles just being like, these next couple of years, they're a wash. Let's get rid of Roquan. Let's get rid of Khalil Mack. These people who aren't going to be around next time we're good. And, we're like, that's awesome. Okay, yeah, like, we'll stomach through a couple of bad seasons. Let's get the draft picks. Let's build our new team. But, we're building a team with no strong leadership locker room presence. Mm-hmm. So we don't have that guys who are going to establish that culture. DJ Moore has proven himself not to be that guy.
Nope.
Keenan Allen is just not who he was. I think Keenan Allen's actually been a pretty good mentor to Caleb, it seems, in the sideline.
Yeah.
But I don't see anyone on this defense being like the rah-rah guys bringing people together.
You know who it's not?
It's not Jalen Johnson.
Dude, I mean... So for those of you who don't know, I didn't realize during the broadcast, I heard after too, Jalen Johnson did not have a C on his jersey for this game.
Yeah. So there was some speculations as to whether or not this was done by higher ups. Though Thomas Brown said that he's the captain regardless of whether or not this is on. But there was some speculation. Was this like a Kevin Warren or a Ryan Poles move? Just because how like vocal and...
I heard, I don't know if this is true. I hear there was a little scruffle with Jalen Johnson and Eberflus. Is that a true rumor? Or
no, it's 100% true.
That is a true rumor.
The Thanksgiving game.
Yes.
It's been well documented at this point that Jalen Johnson went on a long yelling rant, expletives, when Eberflus was trying to like give his post game chat.
So do you not think that's a sign from? I think it's almost like.
It sounded like it needed to happen. Like in the moment, I wasn't like, "Oh, Jalen Johnson's like an idiot or like a bad leader," because it sounded like they were just fed up. And I think he's a guy that wants to win, which to a degree I understand.
But then, do you think that that's the reason you got to see?
No, I ultimately think that this is just gossip, and I think the like they said, the equipment manager just messed up. I think they just fucked up. Personally,
that's a pretty bad mistake.
Yeah. I mean, how many jobs do you really have?
That's what I'm saying.
That being said, like, I don't know what goes into putting this patch on, but...
I don't know. Have you ever sewed before? Because I've sewed. It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
I bet they don't do it by hand either. I bet it's not this guy who does it.
I mean, what else do you think he does?
I don't know.
I bet you he could... You know what he looks like?
What does he look like?
He could be the head coach of the Bears next week.
Could be, yeah. Yeah. Maybe. At this point. I think he's also, like, running the plays.
Basha was asking me, my wife was asking me, so like who's Thomas Brown? Like what did he used to do? And I had to explain
the passing game coordinator.
I had to explain to her what she goes. I was like, he's the passing game coordinator. Then he was the offensive coordinator. Then now he's the head coach. And then she was like, "What's a passing game coordinator?"
Yeah, I was like, "Can you explain that to me?"
Good question, Basha.
I don't know what their day to day.
Here's the analogy I made to her. I said it would be like me in my current role, then getting promoted to CFO. Like. That's the analogy that I made. Like, and I know you
mean you're not close to CFO?
of a Fortune 500 company. I mean, I'm not that close yet. Maybe in 5 years. But I'm just saying though, like that would be what it would be like. And I said on the podcast 2 weeks ago, I said if Thomas Brown won out, he would have a right to potentially be the head coach.
And I did not, but mostly because I knew that wasn't going to happen.
He does not have any business being here, John.
No.
He does not.
So,
yes.
One thing I think is really worth talking about because we've been Ryan Poles stands from the beginning.
Yep.
Has your opinion changed?
Is
he on the hot seat? Should he just be fired now and just like have a new GM, find the new head coach?
The downfall of Ryan Poles this season must be documented.
Oh yeah.
There needs to be a 30 for 30 on it right now because he was looked at as a genius. As
let Poles cook.
Yeah. It was like I can't believe what Poles is doing. Like bringing in Keenan Allen, like fleecing the Carolina Panthers, like. And now he's getting heat for the Tory Taylor pick.
Now they are. Now he is. Yeah.
I don't think he deserves heat for that. That was a good pick. Like. Tory Taylor is one of the better players on that team.
Tom Waddle had the take I was listening to today, which I think is right. And, we like Tory Taylor. I think maybe we should actually try and verify whether or not he's been a good punter or not because it's been so relevant. I haven't been paying attention. But Tom Waddle made the take is like they drafted Amagaji in the 3rd round, who absolutely got toasted, but they knew he was going to be a project. And Tom Waddle said that when he saw the Tory Taylor pick in the 4th round, he said, that's an arrogant pick. It says to me that you feel like your team is pretty complete, and you're taking this luxury. Yeah. I still think it's very worthwhile to have a good punter, and I think Tory Taylor has been a pretty good punter, and I think hopefully he'll continue to get better.
I think I honestly can't. I mean, maybe that is a take that I can't disagree with. I don't know how other teams evaluate punters, but a 4th round pick seems a little high. Egregious.
Yeah. Especially like when we found in the hindsight being 2020 how bad our offensive line is, how bad our defensive line is.
Agreed, but like he's a good player. Could you have got him in the 6th round maybe, but like I'm not gonna give him heat for that. But I'm just saying though, like but like we were so high on Poles.
Yeah.
And like.
So let's talk about why the script has been flipped.
The offensive line.
Yeah.
It is he neglected the offensive line and like we thought he made moves, but dude.
So he did make moves. He brought in people. He brought in depth. And he brought in people with starting experience.
No talent though. Yeah. That offensive line is like we were like remember the first few weeks we were showing the worst plays and even looking back on it, we were not lucky to be 4-2, but there were some close games that we lost. Yeah. This could be a lot worse of a season, is what I'm saying, John. And a lot of it had to do with that offensive line play.
Yeah. So let's talk about the reasons why we came so high on Ryan Poles.
Okay, so go ahead.
So it was the selling of the 1st round pick 2 years ago to get not only the 1st round pick and a couple of 2nd round picks.
Yep. No, it was a 1st round pick,
a 2nd round pick, a 1st round pick, a 2nd round pick, and then a 2nd round pick the following year, which is this coming year, I think, right?
We got back like the 9th pick or whatever. The 9th
pick was ours.
No, we got a 1st round pick in the draft that we traded. We just moved back in that draft.
Yes.
Then we got
that's what it was.
1st round pick, 3rd round pick, and the 2nd round pick this year.
Yes. So and then we got DJ Moore stuck in there too.
Yeah.
And DJ Moore had a good season.
And then he extended DJ Moore too, and we were all hyped up about that.
Which I don't think it's necessarily bad. Okay, but anyway.
Traded for Sweat, who had a great season.
Yeah, no, we like that.
He's having an awful season this year. I never hear his name. Did you see the miss?
Oh, Sweat. Yeah, right, yeah. We liked, but he reinvigorated that team last year.
But this year, where is he? Did you see the sack he tried to have on Darnold?
No.
In the red zone?
Which one?
Dude, it was awful. He like swatted at him whenever Darnold just threw the ball out of bounds.
Okay. So the DJ Moore and the Montez Sweat this year, 2 moves that we really liked, not panning out so much this year.
Yeah, traded for Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
which was.
Yeah, I mean he's probably.
But still, it's another weapon.
Probably a one and done here, but yeah, we liked him the move. We wanted the veteran leadership for Caleb Williams. It makes sense.
Yeah. Got Roma Dunze. Yeah. Which we liked too.
Yeah.
And then like the Hard Knocks hype on him too was great. Like seeing the inside moves, like we're only gonna trade for him. Who was the guy? The guy Jonnu Smith or whatever, the defensive end. We're only bringing him in if we can extend him, right? We don't want to have a 1 year. We want to be seeing the behind the scenes. Like it looks like he's being methodical. He looks like he's smart. Premeditated moves, like smart moves.
So here's what it comes down to: is it seems like Ryan Poles is a smart guy in terms of like getting these deals done and knowing and getting the draft picks and getting people signed. Like Montez Sweat was like, we're not just going to loan this guy. So smart move from that standpoint. But where things have fallen off here certainly has become talent evaluation. Like the Velus Jones Jr. Who else was it?
Forgot about
Chase
that.
Claypool. Oh
my gosh, what a miss that was. Second round pick for that guy.
So there have been a lot of misses, unfortunately, at this point. And the neglecting of the offensive line is another big one. And, last year we were thinking the one thing that we, had confidence in is that, Ryan Poles was going to figure it out. And now we're not even sure if Ryan Poles is the one running the show.
Well, not only that, the press conference they had at the
was terrible.
It was terrible. I hear he lost like privileges or something now too. I don't even know, dude.
Lost privileges.
Like Kevin Warren demoted him or something.
I haven't heard anything about this.
Dude, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, the thing about polls is like, I feel like you shouldn't, the amount of let's put it this way. I don't feel like we are in Chicago, right? So I don't really have access to other, different cities and what they talk about. I feel like we talk about a GM a lot more than we should. And like, even on like national broadcast, people talk about Ryan Poles. When you're watching the games, they talk about him a lot. And like the amount of hype that came around him and then the lack of success that the Bears have been having has been its own fault. Well, he walked himself into this.
Yeah, I mean, just because the notoriety and the way the Bears got this, very high profile first round pick being Caleb Williams, the way they acquired that as not being their own pick.
Yeah.
People are going to talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
And
he's got no more goodwill, I'll tell you that.
No, I mean he's got to nail this head coach.
If he gets the opportunity.
If he gets the opportunity, and like this draft has got to be killer. Yeah. And I think this is year. I think Ryan Poles knows he's got to put up or shut up. I don't think we're going to see any cap space at the end of this year. I think as long as he's got the ability to do so, I think that he is going to pay everybody. Let's get some talent on this roster, and I think they're going to max it out. And he's going to win now because he doesn't have it tomorrow.
If the Bears don't put up a winning season next season, it doesn't matter.
He'll be fired. I think he'll be fired if the Bears don't have a winning season.
If he makes it through this year, man, I do not.
I don't think he's going to be fired. I think they would have done it with Eberflus because I feel like you got to be harder to fire a coach midseason. How much do you really need a GM right now? Like right now.
He's got to be like a major figurehead in the organization. Like, I know a head coach is a major figurehead, but he's kind of like the leader.
On a day-to-day, I don't know, is he on a day-to-day? I think it's the head coach. So, I don't think they'll fire him. I think they're going to give him this year. I think Kevin Warren is going to be pretty highly invested in all of this.
Man, I don't know, dude. I'm struggling right now. This is not fun.
So one thing, I think is fun because it's stupid and I don't think it'll ever happen, but you said that you've heard some rumors that Jeff Bezos is apparently supposed to buy the Chicago Bears. Where did you first hear this?
It's just been something that's been floating around.
There's certainly been some shit memes out there about it.
So let's just let me I want to talk about this for a couple reasons.
$230 billion.
Yeah, so here's the thing that the best comp I want to make real quick is going to be the Denver Broncos. You know who owns the Denver Broncos now, John?
Who?
The Walton family.
They always have, though,
no.
for a long time.
No, they did it right. They bought them right after the Russ deal went down. So the Russ deal happened, and then they bought the team, and then they hired Sean Payton. But what I'm saying, though, is that, I think that the owners of teams should be these mega billionaires. Because, just hear me out real quick, because this should be a hobby for these people.
Yeah.
And they should be like, we want to just pour money in this because I want to have bragging rights with my other billionaire friends. They have the best NFL football team.
That's a fair point.
Not the McCaskies who
This is a revenue stream.
Yes.
Which my counterpoint was going to be like, the hell does Jeff Bezos need to run a successful football organization for?
Because he wants to brag.
Is piddly.
The
Bears are worth $6 billion. And he's worth $230 billion.
He wants to brag to his other friends.
That's a fair point.
He's got the best football team.
You think of like Mark Cuban, who is just like he just seems to love basketball.
Yeah, but but he pours money into it because they care about, and he can.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing with Jeff Isaac, dude, how great would it be for the city to have him here all the time?
I don't particularly like. I guess probably practically good. But.
Do you think he would get a stadium done? Because I think he'd get it if he becomes the owner. I bet he gets a stadium done tomorrow.
Probably right.
I bet you he's like, forget Chicago. You want to make a deal? We're going to Arlington Heights. We're breaking ground the next day.
Is Jeff Bezos retired from Amazon formally?
I think he's like shifting out. The AWS CEO is actually taking over. I think it's kind of like a transition thing. He's more about going to space now. He's all into that.
And apparently buying football teams.
Dude, I would love it. I'm just saying though, I just want to put it on record that I think a billionaire should own these teams, and like it would be great for us because if he does own the team, or if another billionaire, Elon Musk, comes and buys, dude, it's gonna be great. Like nothing would be off limits. Like, oh, you want Bill Belichick wants $10 million a year. I'm just saying that like 10 million's no problem to him.
Yeah, but I don't think you become like someone who founds Amazon by just shoveling money into and losing money on something like this. I feel like you try to maximize profit in everything you do.
You think the Bears lose money?
I mean, if you're just going to start shoveling money at Bill Belichick.
That's what the Broncos did. They were like, Sean Payton, you come out of retirement. Here's a ton of money. I don't know. Here's a lot more money. And now look at them. They are great. The Broncos
great is an exaggeration, but they're better than the Bears.
Wait till we get to our last. I'm curious to this. And this is just funny because the Bears are the laughing stock of the NFC North. We said it at the beginning of the year that the NFC North was the best division in football. What we did not expect, Johnny, was that the Bears would be the laughing stock.
Palate cleanser question. Maybe are we overly, because what we knew and what we didn't know going into we looked at this schedule and it was looking like it was going to be a relatively easy schedule preseason. And that was kind of, and based on last year, I think we were like top 5 easy schedules. That turned out to be not the case, mostly because of the NFC North. But also the Cardinals proved to not be as bad. The Rams proved to not be as bad. So our schedule ended up being a lot worse than it ended up being, especially down the stretch, which we already knew was going to be pretty tough. Are the Bears maybe not as bad as like the bottom 4 team that we're perceiving them to be? Could this just be that the NFC North is just too competitive? And 3 of those 4 games, we actually hung with them and could have won.
So
had the ball bouncing.
I have it up right now, the draft order if the season ran today. Okay, so I'm going to tell you teams that are worse than the Bears, and I want you to tell me if the Bears are better or worse. You ready? The Las Vegas Raiders.
Better than the Raiders.
New York Giants.
Better than... The Giants are an anomaly. The Giants are like the Bears in which they probably should be better than what their record is.
Agreed.
But I'll say yes. Yes.
That's a poorly ran organization. New England Patriots.
Oh, we lost to them handedly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So... what do you think?
The Patriots have a worse record than us. How many wins do they have?
3-11.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, you can't argue that the Bears are that much better than the Patriots when we lost to them and didn't look good.
How about Jacksonville?
Better than Jacksonville. We kicked the shit out of Jacksonville.
Carolina?
Kicked the shit out of Carolina.
Tennessee?
Barely beat Tennessee, but I do think we're a better team than them.
I think you're right. Cleveland?
It's comparable. Maybe the Browns are a little bit better.
And then the Jets?
We already said the Jets.
Giants.
Giants. We're better than the Giants.
What Jets?
I said that.
You thought I said the Giants. Oh, my bad. I said Giants, Jets. Okay, so Giants, Jets, we are not better than the Jets. The Jets are a better team than us.
Okay.
They are a much better team than us. So that puts us, if the season ran today, we'd be the 9th overall pick.
That's it, really.
Yep.
4 wins and the 9th overall pick.
Dude, so it's top heavy and bottom heavy.
Clearly.
Yeah, dude, I know.
Yeah.
It's not good.
That's a bummer.
It is.
That puts us in the same position as last year with 7 wins. So we really got to lose this game. So, yeah, I've heard enough. Put Caleb on the bench.
The parity in the NFL, there's not much parity this year, I feel like. The favorites are winning every single week.
Yeah.
It's, like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, it's not only Vegas is getting it right. It's, like the best teams are much better than the worst teams.
All right. So.
This would be a fun exercise.
Are you talking about the QB tier list?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe make that a separate video.
Okay. That's fine.
And this one out, maybe get the QB tier list out a little bit later in the week.
That's fine.
All right. So, love to hear your guys' opinion. Appreciate if you're still watching, you're a real one. Do you think Brian Poles should be fired and just like start fresh? Don't give him another chance to screw this up because he's messed up he messed up the offensive coordinator, he messed up the head coach. Should we just drop him because if we've seen enough?
Shut down Caleb.
Should we shut down Caleb? I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on that if anyone's out there still listening. But yeah, I'm in the mind that there's just nothing to be gained by putting him out there. I think he's just going to develop a bunch of bad habits. And last question, will we ring the bell at all again this year? Got 3 games left: Lions, Seahawks, and Packers. Seahawks have a winning record, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do we win? Do we ring the bell again this year? All right. So tune in a little bit later this week. We're gonna do a QB tier list.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, I'm not wearing a hat today. You want to do the honors?
See if we got it. Ready?
Peace.
How long was it? Not long.
36 minutes.
Nice.